They wanted not only how I draw, but why I draw. Normally, when I get a job like this, it's like, let me digitally draw things. But for this job, I was just like, oh, no, they're asking for something else.
Everything about him was different. We had to texture him with photocopy dots and paper texture. Every frame that he moves was supposed to look like it was cut and pasted and re-put back together again.
Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse was one for the books for many fans, and something that you had to pay extra attention to if you wanted to see all of the Easter eggs that came with it.
I told you, you let him get away, I can't help you.
You're always like, boy, I hope she thinks I'm cool.
We were trying to push computer graphics away from being something that looks overtly digital looking and trying to invent new tools to capture the essence of that hand-drawn style.
With the amount of work that went into this project, we wanted to take a second look and appreciate how it was created and go behind the scenes and figure out just that.
She starts opening the door a little sooner, but her head is dragging even more. So that way, we still get only the same amount of time of her face at the end, but we see more of her body and stuff when she's not looking away. So like right now, she kind of comes into the shot at about, I don't know, frame 1036.
But before we get into more of these moments, some trivia for you. How many animators were attached to this project in order to make it possible? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
One of the first things was doing a lot of research and development, banking ideas, sounds. This has got so many different noises, from cutting edge electronics, really old knackered electronics. There's some whistles I recorded in a cemetery, and it's going through a process of trying to find the sound palettes.
The sequel had already begun to develop very shortly after Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse released in 2018. While in development, it was announced that the sequel would be split in 2 parts as the story the creators wanted to tell was too much for one movie, which very much excited fans.
I play Miles Morales in Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. But in another universe, my castmates and I all play different characters. You might be surprised to see who plays whom.
Making a film like this didn't come without some failures or things they tried and didn't work.
You have to be ready to fail a lot.
It's not funny.
But the failing is really what leads to the successes.
That's one of, I think, the secrets of the collaborative process, is that you have to give people room to make mistakes.
Of the many animators that got to work on this project, there was one in particular that stood out. Preston Mutanga has found fame as a teen wonderkind whose creativity resulted in the ultimate gig. During an interview, he revealed that he was in love with animation ever since he was a very little kid.
So different parts of him get animated different frame rates. So he's animated on 4s and 6s and 8s that separate him from every character. We needed him to integrate into the lighting just enough so they all feel like they're in the same place, but he had to stand out.
Pixar movies were what mainly inspired me because I watched them a lot and they were easily accessible for me, he said. I loved how Pixar really changed the game for animation back in the day. Interestingly enough, he actually taught himself how to animate CGI. One of the scenes he worked on was a Lego scene.
One of the film's animators is just 14 years old. When the movie's first trailer came out, Toronto native Preston Mutanga decided to recreate it shot for shot with computer-generated Legos.
Not bad, kid.
I eventually finished it in like 2 weeks. Then once I posted it online, it was started getting all sorts of traction.
And we could go on and on about just how the animation style looks, as it's something we've never seen before. Some of it is thanks to the 3 directors on the projects.
I made the decision early on, this is going to be paint on paper, and they wanted to know how to reproduce that style. And that style isn't a digital style. That style comes from capillary action and gravity. So it was really cool to paint on paper.
To generate that emotional gravitas that hooked audiences, one of the directors worked with the voice actors, which include Shameik Moore as Spidey and Hailee Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, plus Jake Johnson, Jason Schwartzman, and Brian Henry.
We discovered this really cool application called Rebel, and Rebel has this ability to simulate watercolor, and we had to figure out a way of using it within animation.
We were sort of building the track as the train was rolling. We were inventing technology that would support the creativity of this film and the artistry of this film.
We worked hard in recording sessions to explore those dramatic moments, he says. In many cases, I had to play the scene partner for our performers because they often don't record together.
My name is Miles Morales. I'm Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man.
Oi! You were supposed to be here at 5.
All right, whatever.
Whatever? Wow.
Miles, wanna get out of here?
Getting a deeper look into the software that was used for the film, and keeping the style of animation comic style they wanted, and also keeping some sort of realism.
This day get any damn weirder?
Whoa, I guess it can.
The idea of Miles fighting off all these other spider people who are bigger or stronger or better than him, that's exciting.
Your brain instantly goes, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a lot of work.
But real quick, make sure you guys check out our Instagram page linked down in the description. There's a ton of interview moments and memes, so make sure you check it out and give us a follow. And of course, they went on to praise the works of the animators who really put their heart and soul into the film. This film allows scenes to breathe, to play as though you're shooting live action, says another director.
I really went into every record, every edit session, everything I had to do with that kind of mindset, which is don't be afraid to do it wrong.
The more you can control the outcome, the more that you can stabilize any anomalies, the better chance for stability there will be.
Usually when you're creating animated fare, when you are done with a scene, you move on to the next one. We can't linger too long. This is the opposite. And we get to hear from one of those directors and the use of technology within the film.
We essentially took a ton of comic books and we laid them all out on a table and we said, which of these worlds do we want to go into? It's like we made, 5 or 6 different films in one film.
This is unbelievable.
Going into the cast, we hear from them and how they were introduced to this film.
I was a big fan of the first movie, and yeah, I just got an email being like, do you want to read for this movie? It didn't say anything. And
you're like, well,
but it was your ending monologue from the first movie.
That was what you auditioned
Yes,
with?
that was the audition.
Anyone can wear the mask. You could wear the mask.
So I was like, maybe it's for a spider person, but I was like, I don't know.
Sitting down with all 3 directors, they go into detail about the very lengthy process of the animation and just putting all of it together in one piece.
Obviously, you're always going to get, encouraged to trim and tighten and make it as tight as humanly possible, which no one wants to do that more than us. But at the end of the day, it's is the audience engaged? What really settled us on when you start screening it for a test audience. We figured out the final things that we cut, and we finally screened a version that audience not only enjoyed, but they didn't feel like it was running too long.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, not only does the film boast an impressive volume of comic book characters in a single movie, but over 1,000 animators were put to work in creating a kaleidoscopic amalgamation of vibrant colors and art styles.
We created all these styles based on visual development artwork and all these looks, kind of set it up like a menu in a restaurant. And then when we get to animation, they would say, we're gonna pick that, then we're gonna pick that, then we're gonna pick that. So he would constantly be changing the different looks that we had designed. And he stole the show.
Across embraces many distinct and different visual tones. For instance, cooler hues and splashes of watercolor patterns often appear to indicate sadness, regret, or a strong emotion a particular character is feeling, while other dimensions embrace different stylings, like that of the golden age of comics.
Our buddies, the Daniels, made the Oscar-winning film Everything Everywhere All at Once, which features a bagel. This film, coincidentally, also features bagels. We needed a billboard, so we thought it would be a billboard for the
Tony Award-winning musical All of It, Always, All Over the Place.
Of course, we can't go without talking about the next installment of Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is still scheduled for 2024. However, it has been pushed back. According to the writer and producer, the movie will release when it is ready.
As a filmmaker, as an artist, it's awesome working at Sony because they've always encouraged me to take risks, to always try new things, and never have they ever balked at some of the craziest ideas.
It gave us the freedom and the liberty and the kind of support to really push the tools and experiment.
So we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What were your thoughts on this, and what was your favorite part of this film? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
This is the lobby. Miguel O'Hara. This whole thing was his idea.
You can never be part of this.
Come on, go easy on the kid. He had a terrible teacher.
Peter.
Miles! Mayday!
You have a baby.
I have a baby.
I'll take it from here.